Let's make some really simple Christmas bows. Hi, and welcome back to my craft room. My name is Kelsey. I also call myself Dinosaur Mama, and today we are making some really simple paper bows. I made 3 new SVG files. They are holiday themed, and you can find those free downloads down in the description below where there's a link to my blog. It will have the instant downloads as well as all of the materials and tools and a written tutorial. All of these bows go together really quickly. They are simple to put together, and you can use these with cardstock, faux leather, or you can even do cloth and just add in some floral wire inside or pipe cleaners to make them stand up a little bit. So if you're ready, let's jump into Cricut Design Space. I'm just gonna show you how to size them, and then we will go ahead and start on our assembly. So I have all 3 of my bows on the screen. Just keep in mind, if you're resizing anything, to make sure you resize the whole file. So for mine, I made mine kind of small. So I did 6 inches wide for the whole file on the reindeer, and you saw the size of the bow. This is a bigger bow when it comes to the actual bow size. So I left this at the 8 inches. So this is the size that I had made it. The white piece would be 8 inches long. And then for this one, I did scale this down. You can max this out by just going to this and seeing how big it is. This is the max that it can be if you're using a 12 by 12 piece of paper, but I made mine a little bit smaller. So if you wanted to make a smaller bow, you can. Just again, make sure you're resizing the whole file. And then of course you can change any colors that you want. So I cut a lot of this out with glitter cardstock, and I use the medium cardstock setting. And then I also just used a 65-pound textured cardstock or an 80-pound textured cardstock. So totally up to you on how you want to cut these size-wise. Again, I would just test them before I cut them out in any sort of specialty paper. So once you have everything cut out, we can go ahead and start assembling. So I started this off with craft glue, and I quickly switched over to hot glue. And the only reason for that is that it wouldn't stick because of the glitter. So layering it stuck fine, where I mean the glitter went onto the glitter. But when I went to go like make the actual 3D part of the bow, it wouldn't stick. So I was able to use my craft glue here where I put the one glitter on top of the other, but when I went to go and fold it or curl it, whatever you want to say, it just would not stick. So I am first layering my 2 pieces for the glitter, and now I am curving them, and you'll see I'm not folding them, so I don't want to make a crease. I want to keep that curve as much as possible, but I'm folding all 4 points of this in. And you'll see now I'm using my hot glue here to attach these all down. So you're just kind of putting them all together at a point. So you'll have to do this for all of the layers so that it comes to this nice center. My hot glue was like very, very hot, so a lot came out. Just try to be conservative to a point with it so that you don't have hot glue oozing everywhere and burn yourself. But I am going to glue down all 4 layers into the center, and you see it's curved, it's not folded, there's not like a crease anywhere. And so you're going to want to fold all 4 pieces so that they stick down onto the center. So you're going to layer all of your pieces. You can, again, use craft glue or hot glue depending on what paper you used. Obviously, if you didn't use glitter paper, you're not going to have an issue when it comes to layering and folding. So if you just use regular paper, you can probably use craft glue for all of this. But I'm layering all of my pieces, and now this layered rectangle piece is going to be your center piece. And this is just going to wrap around the middle so that we cover up any like ugly bits. Just make sure that the piece that is folded over on the back is in the back so that you don't see it, because this is supposed to make it look a little nice. So again, I'm curving it. I'm not really folding it. I want to kind of keep a roundness to it so there's not creases. And I'm going to use, again, my hot glue here so that it's nice and stuck. And you don't have to hot glue it all the way around. You can just hot glue it onto the back. That way it's not flattened onto the front. You still have a little bit of I guess you could say volume to it. So I'm just gluing that down. And then the last piece are just your little ribbon pieces to hang off the edge. And again, you can layer these and of course make this your own and use any colors that you want. I went with gold and red. You can use white and red, green and red. You can use whatever you want, honestly, because it's a pretty simple classic bow. So you can use it for any template. And again, you can use this to make hair bows. You can use this for your Christmas gifts, your birthday gifts. I'm gonna use these for Christmas to put onto my Christmas gifts instead of like the bows you get, you know, from Walmart or whatever. And so once you have these two layered, you're just gonna put a little bit of hot glue or craft glue, obviously, at the very top, and then attach this on to the back so it is not seen. So these are pretty simple to put together, like I mentioned, I think multiple times in the intro. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. I have felt so off today. I don't know if it's the weather or what. Just have a lot to do this week. My son gets off of school tomorrow for Christmas, so he's off for 25 days, and I think I'm just anxious because there's so much to do. So once you have that glued on, that is your finished bow. So the first thing that I'm going to do with my candy cane bow is I am going to glue on all of my little pieces. And I did mess up. I tried to use the where it cut out of as like a guide. And like I said, I'm just like not in it today. Something's up with my brain. But you're going to glue on all of your white pieces and attach them on to your candy cane. You can also use vinyl for this so that it's like in the proper place, which is something that I probably should have done. But instead I glued it on and just make sure that everything is glued on again in the proper place. And do your candy cane first, and this is going to be attached on to the middle. So I actually made the whole bow and then didn't like the size of it, so I redid it. So I cut out a new one. This is a bigger one. This is the proper size of the file now. And you are going to do just like we did before, except there's only two sides now. You're just folding into the center. And again, you are not trying to fold and make creases. You're still trying to keep it as round as possible when it comes to making the bow. So I am just adding on my back real quick, and I didn't have the centerpiece cut out. I did provide one. If you want to wrap your bow and have a different color here, you definitely can, like in a green or a red, whatever. I do have one in the SVG file. I did not add it onto my bow. And so I'm just adding on my little back here, and then I am going to hot glue on my two little candy canes right to the center. So again, these go together super fast, which is nice. So if you're making it for a bunch of presents or a card or an envelope, whatever, it's easy to do. So they don't take forever to make, which is nice. And now I'm just hot gluing on my candy canes again right into the center. And once you have these three pieces on, you're done. So a quick bow, super cute, would be great onto like a gift card as well. So just a nice little addition. And this is probably our easiest bow to put together. So again, we are not folding, we are curling and gluing in those two sides just like we did on our last bow. So into the center, try to keep them as round as possible when it comes to curving it over. And I'm just using hot glue at this point because I was, I guess, over my craft glue. And then I realized, you'll see when I go to glue my antlers on next, I put the glue on the wrong side, but I was able to make it work. So that's good. But you're gonna glue your antlers on to the back of your bow, and they just stick on. You can put them kind of towards the center, and they don't like hang over or anything. They pretty much stick up. So it's a nice, cute little addition onto the bow. Then the next thing you'll do, just like the last bow, is you will attach onto the back your two ribbon pieces to hang off, or I guess your one ribbon piece to hang off of the back. And I lined mine up right with the top where the antlers are so that it wasn't hanging off, you don't see it. And then the last thing to do is just glue that red circle right onto the center. And then once you have that on, this bow is complete as well. So 3 simple bows to make for Christmas. Thank you for joining me as we made our 3 bows. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It helps me so much. Subscribe to my channel for new crafty videos every week, and share this with one of your friends who needs some new bows to make for Christmas. I will see you soon in my craft room, and stay crafty.